Wolves 1, Manchester United 0. Let's talk about that game, hey? Similar to probably a lot of our last 10 games, where we actually haven't been that bad. We've just been bad in the final third, and we lose a game that, Wolves only had one shot on target. That was the 79th minute. That was the free kick, a silly one for Ericsson to give away, and an excellent free kick it was. But Wolves didn't deserve anything from that game. They were atrocious today. I thought we were the better team when we played Forest twice, but when you don't have quality on the pitch, when you let go of Rashford and Anthony and you don't bring in an attacker, and then your best attacker Ahmad gets injured, and you've literally got Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho as your only fit attackers, Garnacho, who was very good today actually and should have had 3 assists, what can the manager do? It was pre-season vibes. I watched that game and I thought pre-season vibes. We played the ball around nicely. We did all right. Considering we had a rotated squad and Wolves were in good form, we did pretty well. But we missed chances. We didn't create loads of chances. Obviously, we didn't have Bruno in the first half. And ultimately, Wolves, they get a free kick, they score it. They were very lucky. We probably deserved all 3 points. I thought the Amass and Fredricson did well. But that's football. If you don't have good players on the pitch, you can't win games. Newcastle United have Alexander Isak. They have Harvey Barnes. They have Gordon. And Murphy's in excellent form. Who do we have? No one thought Newcastle would be third, but when you have good attackers like that and a good player like Tonali as well, you can score goals. And if you score goals, you win games. But Manchester United scored more goals, 3 in 7 minutes versus Lyon on Thursday, than in the last 4 Premier League games. Of course, it is the Premier League. We're just not trying as much. We don't care as much. We rotated the squad. We sort of get that in the Premier League. It's never going to be the same. And people are saying, oh, we shouldn't care if we lose in the Premier League. The season's over. We're Manchester United. We should still care if we lose. I'm not going to lose my mind over losing 1-0 to Wolves with a very rotated squad when we're the better team. But over the Newcastle game, we were hopeless and we got battered. I think if we get battered, we have the right to be frustrated and angry. If a game like today, I'm not angry. It's the same old, whatever. This is one of those games where it's actually, we deserve to win. We lost 1-0. We were unlucky, but the Europa League's our focus. But we still can't have that mentality of, these losses mean nothing. Today, I don't really care that much. We're the better team. It's frustrating. The lack of quality is there. But versus Newcastle, people got annoyed at me for being angry at the loss versus Newcastle, despite our Premier League season being over. But that's because the way we lost versus Newcastle was embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Today, it wasn't embarrassing. And today, actually, Wolves were just rubbish. But they got a lucky win. So, here are my notes. Same story, same frustration. United dominated most of the game and just came away with nothing because we can't put the ball in the back of the net. 1 win in our last six Premier League games. 0-0 versus Man City. 0 goals versus Nottingham Forest. Our ability to not score goals, man. Look, soft free kick given away from Ericsson. Ericsson put in 1 or 2 good balls, but he's just washed at this level. We couldn't track his man back, is what it is. It just felt like a pre-season game. No urgency, no intensity, no bite in the final third. And we've seen this so many times from Man United this season. We've seen so many times where we've actually done all right in the first phase, done all right in the second phase, and the other team hasn't really caused us many issues. But then we don't do anything in the final third. It's a nothing game. It's a boring game. And yeah, we don't win. We don't score. You don't score, you don't win. And we don't score many. When Strand Larsen for Wolves has 12 goals this season in the Premier League. Matheus Cunha, I think, has 16 or 17 goals in the Premier League, Wolves attackers, and they're below us in the league. Rasmus Højlund has 3 goals in the Premier League. Strand Larsen has 12. Cunha has 16. Xerxes, I think, also has 3 or maybe 4 goals in the Premier League. I don't even know, but Xerxes has been playing more as a 10. That is the ability of our front line. Xerxes has 3. Both of our strikers have 3 goals in the Premier League. Ipswich have attackers with more. Wolves have attackers with more. It's clearly an issue. Xerxes has been more of a 10, and I think his all-round influence has been decent, but is an issue. And we know that. Now, I thought we created enough to win. I thought Dorgu had a good game. I thought he was quite poor versus Lyon. I thought Amass had a very good game and was my man of the match. I think Garnacho had a good game, and Ericsson, I don't think, had a great game, but he delivered some good balls in the box. Alejandro Garnacho, when he passes the ball and doesn't shoot, he creates chances, he gets assists, and he could have had 3 assists today. Mason Mount really should have scored. No one was there. The amount of balls we put in, and the striker wasn't there. We had no one to get on the end of those balls. Harry Maguire would have scored today if he started a striker. I'm confident of that. Victor Osimhen would have scored today if he'd started a striker. But there's no killer instinct. Mount missed a huge chance. Garnacho could have had 2 assists, maybe even 3. I like Garnacho. I've said this with Garnacho. He's frustrating. His decision-making can be poor. He needs to improve his ball striking, but they can all improve. Garnacho gets in the most dangerous areas and is the most threatening player nearly in every match. He just needs to improve the end product, which he can do with time. you know, he brings something. And if he got injured today, I thought he went down with an injury at one point, I would have been seriously concerned. We need a real striker like Osimhen. The title of this video is going to be Man United sign Osimhen and Cunha. Because like Man United, go sign Osimhen and Cunha. It wasn't even Cunha's best game today, but I'm a big fan of Cunha. I've watched them all season. Man United, go sign Osimhen and Cunha. Because if we could have played them over Eriksen and Højlund today, we would have won. Yeah. We might be the worst team in the league in the final third, and that's not an exaggeration. Like, even Southampton have some better played some better stuff than us. You know, Dibbling, Sulemana. We might be the worst team in the league in the final third. Probably Leicester, actually. Probably Leicester. Højlund needs to go for his own good. He just looks so out of place. Højlund, I really backed him after his first season support. 16 goals, no service. What he did in the Premier League, the runs, the passes, everything Højlund used to do in his first season, even when he wasn't scoring, he's not doing now. You know, he did a good bit of skill and then slowed down and didn't shoot. Well, he did shoot, but you know what I mean. Like, he looked off the pace. He was never in the right position. He'd given the ball away. It's almost like someone's put a curse on Højlund, because even when there's a good ball in the box, he reaches and he's so close to it, but he still doesn't get on the end of the ball. It's like someone's put a curse on Højlund that nothing's going to go his way. He's like either just ridiculously bad, ridiculously unlucky, and ridiculously low on confidence, and it's all mixed together. Like, I rated Højlund his first season, but he's shown regression, not progression. And a lot of it is confidence, a lot of it's environment. I still think he could be a good player, but he needs to get away from Man United, because even if he's here next year, he's still going to be bad. He needs to get away. You know, I feel bad for him because I think he's just broken as a player. Because the Højlund I saw versus Bayern Munich in the Champions League, even when he wasn't scoring in the Premier League, the Højlund I saw last season, this time last year, was so much better. Like, even Cheeto, I felt, did more. He made a few little passes and touches than Højlund all game. Harry Amass, man of the match for me in the first half, made 14 final third passes, very progressive, very confident, very able to pass the ball forward. I thought he was brave. I thought he positioned himself well. You know, his physicality, people have always questioned his physicality. And that's one of the reasons that Ten Hag didn't really play him. But I haven't looked at him and thought, oh, no, he hasn't got the physicality. I think he's looked physically fine. I actually think that maybe Erik Ten Hag was right to give him a few more months before bringing him in. But I do think surely we could have had Harry Amass on the bench for some of those Ten Hag games when we were really thin in that left-back position. You know, we even played Collier at left back once. I just look at Harry Amass and think surely Ten Hag could have played him. Yeah, he's just really brave on the ball. He just looked confident, composed. I think he deserves to keep his place. I think he's a contender to start in the Europa League. I mean, I think Dorgu will start. Dorgu had a good game today. But Harry Amass is a contender. I will tell you that now. These were his game numbers: 9 duels won, 13 contested, 7 ball recoveries, 4 passes into the final third, 3 clearances, 3 fouls. Did he say 4 passes? 4 into, not in. 3 clearances, 3 fouls, 3 tackles attempted, 2 tackles won. The tackle that led to the Højlund chance. Yeah, I thought Harry Amass was excellent today. So if Harry Amass was your man of the match, let me know down below. Other thoughts: Amorim rotated heavily. I looked at the lineup, thought this lineup was shocking. We probably won't win. So the fact that we were the better team, I'll take that. We didn't win, but we were the better team. And do you know what? Like, it weren't that bad until we got into the final third. We created chances. We didn't create great chances without Bruno, but we created chances. Fredricson did very well, very calm and composed on the ball. Didn't deserve to concede. Mount, Højlund and Arnold got to be the worst someone we had in years, even Mason Mount today. Like, I think Mason Mount suits the system, and he was a very good player at Chelsea, but he's not played for 2.5 years. He looks washed. Like, he wasn't very good today, Mason Mount. Eriksen looks done. We need one creative midfielder, and we need a number 10. We sign a number 10 that's good and can score goals, a striker that's experienced, and a centre mid that can progress the ball. I do believe Amorim could get us back into Europa League and maybe push for Champions League next season. You know, he won the league after one good window with Sporting. I think if United get him, Victor Osimhen, Matheus Cunha, and Angelo Stiller, which we won't do, I think Man United could easily get 5th next season. So let's talk about Tyler Fredricson. 93% pass accuracy, 15 duels contested, 12-1, which is really good. Strand Larsen, physical player. As I said, 12 goals this season. 7 passes into the final third, 5 tackles attempted, 4 tackles won, 4 clearances. Didn't look out of place. Looked very, very composed. Good from him. I think Amorim will trust him and play him more. Alejandro Garnacho created as many chances today as all the other Man United starts combined, and unlucky not to get an assist. I agree. Should have had 1-1 would have been a fair. 2-1 we should have won that game. 2-0 even. 1-0. But it is what it is. The players had checked out the league. There was no urgency there. You know, there's not a reliable striker. It says midfielder that can't press or defend. What? I didn't mean to put that in. I didn't read through my notes. I was probably talking about something else there. We can press and we can defend in midfield. We can't progress. I meant to put progress and I put press or defend for some reason. Weak mentality in key moments. But yeah, Wolves had 3 points after 10 games, and now they've got as many as United this season. If Maguire had started up top, we might have scored the chances from crosses, and I think Amorim coached the team well, but we can't finish chances. Minna said it here, you know, Wolves have won 5 on the bounce. We've won 6 in 22. Just leave that there for you to think about that. Another game we could have won, didn't. Until we fix the final third, nothing will change. We've got to wait till the summer. And Ineos can't be saying, oh, dibbling into that, their fixture issues. No, get him some proper players, Ineos. Get him some proper players. Flat, toothless, uninspiring is what it is. Thank you for watching. Bye.